The FTX fiasco has put a renewed emphasis on safer, more conservative projects. The projects that have been around for a few years, maybe hovering around 20, 30, 40 on CoinMarketCap, aren't quite sexy enough for the typical crypto investor who's always looking for the next big thing. But post FTX, I think these projects are going to become trendy again. And the perfect example of a project that fits this mold is Hedera, formerly known as Hedera Hashgraph. So what is Hedera? So this is my second video. I covered them a few months ago. This is a follow-up video. There's been a lot of ecosystem developments I'll get into later. Hedera was founded in 2018. It hit exchanges in 2019. They built themselves as another faster, cheaper, more environmentally friendly, essentially blockchain. Hedera is the most used sustainable enterprise-grade public network for the decentralized economy. It's based on a proof-of-stake model, not a proof-of-work model. But the main reason that it differs is that it's based on a new consensus algorithm called Hashgraph, for the nodes gossip together. So more on that. What is this Hashgraph consensus model that you've probably heard about before? Well, it was founded by these two guys right here, the founders of the project, Mance Harmon and Lehman Bear, these two characters. Now, when these guys came into crypto in 2018, it was kind of groundbreaking. They didn't really fit the typical mold of your 20, 30-something crypto guy. They were a little bit older, mid-50s, don't really look the part. But the project has been very long-term successful, and they did kind of pave the way for a new sort of demographic to hit the crypto scene. But back to this consensus algorithm. So unlike traditional proof-of-work blockchain, which selects a single miner to choose the next block, the community of nodes running through Hashgraph come to an agreement on which transactions to add to the ledger as a collective. Through gossip about gossip and virtual voting, the Hashgraph network comes to consensus on both the validity and the consensus timestamp of every transaction. So basically, in other blockchains, one node or a couple different nodes have to individually approve each transaction that goes on the network. With Hashgraph, it's a little different. Their consensus algorithm, the nodes kind of talk to each other, gossip with each other, come to a collective decision. We're going to pass this transaction or disapprove this transaction, and that's that. So they were the first ones to do this. Additionally, in blockchain, consensus rules require that blocks eventually settle on a single longest chain agreed upon by the community. If two blocks are created at the same time, the network nodes will eventually choose one chain to continue and discard the other one, lest the blockchain fork into two different chains. But in Hashgraph, every container of transactions is incorporated into the ledger, none are discarded, so it is more efficient than blockchains. All the transactions continue to exist forever and are woven together into a single whole. HBAR is the token that powers the Hashgraph network. It's used for smart contracts, file storage, regular transactions, and it's also used to help secure the network. Let's get into the token metrics. So it's ranked number 37 on CoinMarketCap. So that's that sweet spot I was talking about. Not quite in the top 10. Been around for a while. Sort of overlooked. Not quite as sexy as some of those projects. But in tough times like right now, these are the projects that quietly move up and succeed. Market cap of 1 billion. Circulating supply 46%. So considering that the coin's been trading for 3 to 4 years, I would have expected the circulating supply to be a little bit higher, but not really a problem, because if you look at the token metrics, so they did a big $100 million ICO in 2018. And then if you look at the vesting, it appears that most of this $100 million has vesting periods of 3 to 4 years total from the token generated event, which was 3.5 years ago, about 3 years ago in 2019. So it looks like a lot of the coins are going to become invested in the next year. And then next year at this time, I expect this total circulating supply to be much higher, around 80, 90%. So this vesting schedule is looking pretty favorable going forward. Exchanges, so it's on Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin, Bittrex, Bitstamp, most of the top big credentialed exchanges. Not on FTX, was never on FTX, had no affiliation with FTX whatsoever. And even more interesting, if you look at their fund backers, so it was a $100 million big fundraise, but an ICO, sort of like a public sale from some institutional investors, some individual investors. But look at the funds of backers, almost no VCs. I've never even heard of these. Shima Capital, Kernel Ventures, CSP DAO. So this coin is basically totally independent. They're not tied to any specific ecosystem like the Binance ecosystem, the Coinbase ecosystem, thankfully not the FTX ecosystem. They're also not attached to any individual big VC, like Andreessen Horowitz or something like that. I've never even heard of one VC that did invest in this $100 million round here. So this is just a very rare independent operator in the crypto space. And then the founders did address the FTX turbulence of the last week. So they put out this tweet a couple days ago. In light of recent events, turbulent conditions of the market, we'd like to note that Hedera manages its own budget and treasury of HBARs. That's the native token. HBARs and Hedera treasury are not currently held by any third-party custodians, nor are any significant amounts held today on exchanges. So, yep, looks like they were safe with their coins. Nothing was lost, not surprising. Then Mance Harbin, the co-founder, goes on to say, back in 2018, when they first raised their $100 million ICO, they accepted Bitcoin and Ethereum. All funding received in crypto, they immediately converted into cash, a decision which was viewed as betrayal by much of the Web3 community at the time. So when a project does a big fundraise, they have two choices. The fundraise is typically mostly in the cryptocurrency, and public sales are almost entirely in the cryptocurrency. So they can either just keep that money in the cryptocurrency, and then if the values go up, then their fundraise amount doubles. But if it goes down, then their fundraise amount is cut in half. Most teams do that, but they can also convert it to fiat. Then, of course, they open themselves up to criticism. What if, the value of Bitcoin and Ethereum doubles after the time they do that? Then they missed out on those gains. But this appeared to be more of a sort of a prescient decision here. And they were criticized at the time because, as we all know, 2020 prices did go up. So they did miss out on that. But right now, it's their conservative viewpoint showing why they are long-term successful, safer project, and why they ran into zero problems or hiccups associated with FTX. So again, not sexy, but long-term successful. Now let's look into the ecosystem development since the last time I did a video. So they've a lot of NFT partnerships and developments here. They just launched Kabi Labs. Kabi Labs looks like an NFT marketplace for NFT creators, specifically on the artistic JPEG side. What else? They also partnered with Numbers Protocol. Numbers Protocol is a decentralized photo network for Web3 content creators. And then within the Numbers Protocol is the Capture app. This is the decentralized Web3 camera app for NFT creators. This partnership with Numbers and Capture app, this is more for photography-based NFT creators, not artistic-based NFT creators like with the Kabila app. And then, for example, this guy, Rodrigo Oliveira, I guess he's a photographer / NFT creator. So he just launched his NFT collection via the Capture app and the Numbers Protocol on the Hedera mainnet a couple days ago. That is now live. Their biggest partnership in the NFT space was this year. They partnered with LG Electronics. Yes, the huge South Korean tech giant LG Electronics. Partnership will bring NFTs to TV screens together with LG. Specifically, LG released its NFT marketplace called LG Art Lab, available in the United States on TVs that are running web operating system 5.0 or later. The company said the NFT platform will allow users to buy, sell, and display their Hedera Hashgraph NFT directly on their screen. So it sounds like if you're having a party, you're listening to music, you want to have a screensaver of some NFT, like one of Rodrigo's NFT art pieces on, as the screensaver on your TV while the music's playing, you can do that. That's pretty cool right there. And big name partnerships, LG, those always help to propel token prices, so no complaints there either. Now let's look at their eco-friendly, carbon neutral side. So they just partnered with Flow Carbon. That name should sound a little familiar to you. That's Adam Newman's new crypto-related project that's unrelated to his project Flow, which is more of non-crypto, just apartment office space. His typical bread and butter. Flow Carbon is his carbon-friendly NFT or carbon-friendly crypto project. Specifically, this sort of partnership, I'm not really sure what it does. It just appears to make something about Hedera just more eco-friendly. It's a big name partnership. They also partnered with Verde Blocks to bring businesses the first end-to-end DLT-enabled platform for purchasing renewable energy through smart contracts. That's another eco-friendly partnership. Now let's look into events. So as I mentioned in my last video a couple months ago, Hedera, part of the long-term successful, they're very into in-person events as well. They've been organizing meetups for years. They're very active on the conference circuit, both internationally and domestically. they really feel that that's important, having the face-to-face interaction with their community, not just online, and I would agree with that. So they were just at NFT London last week, organizing a meetup in Nigeria, of all places, organizing a meetup in Egypt. They're just all over the place. They'll be at TechCrunch's crypto events on Thursday in Miami with Brian Armstrong, CZ. I think CZ is going to be virtually there, but some big names at this event here. So they are all over the place. They also launched their Hedera community page. It's a hashback app for people new to the Hedera ecosystem. It lets you learn more about it, connect with other people in the community. Pretty good. So again, they're very into sort of face-to-face interaction beyond just Twitter. Now let's look at their DeFi partnerships. So they just partnered with Saucer Swap Labs. Saucer Swap is pioneering. They are pioneering they didn't just partner with that Saucer Swaps. So this is a DEX, a decentralized exchange. It's been here for a while, but they are the number 2 ranked app in terms of total value locked on the Hedera ecosystem, which is pretty good. And Saucer Swap just got listed on exchanges in September, about 2 months ago. That was a big deal. And the token price has performed pretty well, so that's good. Hedera is also launching Lehman Swap. It's billed as the most advanced decentralized exchange to come to Hedera, with some sort of NFT incorporation, NFT presale here. And then HeliSwap. So this is another DeFi decentralized exchange. It allows you to swap ERC20 tokens with HBAR tokens with HTS tokens. That stands for Hedera Token Services. So those are tokens that are launched on the Hedera network in the Hedera ecosystem. So it lets you swap all those. And then additionally, Hedera has kind of randomly been involved in sort of the web domain space. It's sort of a niche area they have. One of their apps called called Hashgraph Name, they became a founding member of the Web3 Domain Alliance alongside other big names in the space. So that is good for them. So yeah, that's it right there. Obviously, this when I did my first video 2 months ago, it sounded like there just really hadn't been quite as many ecosystem developments as there have been in the last month. So it really feels like this project has been ramping up. Partnerships, developments. I've seen a lot of other influencers who hadn't normally covered Hedera. They've been doing videos on Hedera in the last few weeks. So it really feels like this project has been picking up traction lately, and it's really going to pick up even more traction going forward with the FTX debacle and them just being a safe, trustworthy, long-term successful project. Obviously, do your own due diligence with any of these videos, with any of these projects, but this is definitely one I'm bullish on in the long run, particularly when the remaining tokens become unvested in the next year. Then that's going to be very favorable for this project. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Hedera. Ben Crypto signing out. Be back tomorrow with a new video. Catch you later.